intro?
Oh.
¿Quieres hacer intro o
Yeah,
no?
yeah.
Well,
Welcome to another episode of Los.
BenchWarmers.
And today we're back in Monterey, downtown Monterey. And once again, this coffee is by Plumes.
Damn,
Plumes.
Plume's giving you a lot of money, bro.
Hell yeah, you know how
Okay.
we do in Plumes, you know.
Well, so we're staying here at the Marriott. You know, we just decided, we drove by and we're like, should we spend the night? And we say, you know, we're famous people.
We needed a room for our OnlyFans.
That's what famous people do.
Yeah, yeah.
So we got this suite here at the Marriott. Thank you, Marriott.
And he's paying for it.
Oh, the Marriott is paying for it, bro.
I'm talking about Chiquito.
We're being sponsored. Oh, bro. You have no idea. You are not, I know you're taller than me, but you are not in the room. We have to fight for it. Okay, I was gonna talk about something else.
No, I just grabbed the beer. Come here.
Okay, on this episode, I'm gonna talk a lot.
Oh, I have to be rough with you because I can't be rough with her. That is abuse, you know what I'm saying? So a little pull, a little elbow here and there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, let me do this. Rein you back in.
Okay, yeah.
On this episode, I'm gonna talk a lot because we're gonna talk about my origins in the United States. So I came to the United States when I was 17, in the year 2000. So do your math. I'm 41. I'm older than you, huh?
Yeah.
You're a baby, huh? 24, huh? You look great for 24.
You know?
We were talking about my family. I don't think they watch this, so I don't care. So our nickname in my household with my wife, for that part of the family, they're called the assholes.
Oh, God.
Because, you know, these filthy rich people, very rich. But I have to give it to them. Like they didn't inherit it; they fought for it. I know my uncle. So my uncle married my dad's sister. So he married into my dad's family. And I always thought that she married him just because, Jesus Christ, airplane. So I always thought she married him because of money, but I was absolutely wrong. He had nothing when they started dating. And he was like the lower class kid in the neighborhood. They always live in it wasn't like it was the bad town, the bad side of a nice neighborhood.
Okay.
Miraflores in Peru, Miraflores is like kind of rich people, but it has dark areas.
Like Pebble Beach. They have the mansions, and then the outskirts when you go in, they have like regular houses, and that's the ghetto, but still nice.
No, not that drastic.
Oh,
Not
okay.
that drastic. I mean, I remember on my street, 2 streets down, they sold crack and shit like that. So but if you went to the other side of the avenue, it was these nice stores and rich people. So it's a weird dynamic.
Yeah.
But still, for Lima, for Peru, for Lima, Miraflores is like a higher class neighborhood for sure. It has, like I say, its downsides. My uncle lived on the same block as me all his life, and I think his dad had like mental illness or something. Like he was like the crazy guy in the neighborhood, and my uncle didn't have money. There were a bunch of kids in this house, and they didn't never have money. So he worked really hard for his money. I don't know how legal everything was, but he made his money. So in their early 20s, they started doing different businesses, and then they landed on an exchange business of dollars coming to Peru. So they will exchange your soles, which is the local coin,
Yeah.
$2, and so on. In the 90s, even 80s, 90s, cocaine was. So the best cocaine is from Colombia, but the best coca is from Peru. So la coca leaf, the actual plant, grows better in Peru.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And then all the chemical stuff that happen in Colombia, they master it.
Oh, okay.
But the actual,
Have you tried the leaf?
I have, yeah.
And
I didn't want to like chew it, but I've had it in tea.
Oh shit, how was
It,
that?
it's just supposed to give you a little bit of energy, but it's not like cocaine is a lot. Like it's bad. It has a lot of chemicals in it. Yeah, and then you put it up your nose too. It's like whatever. But so
Chico.
so the thing that was a big deal was like a lot of entrepreneurs in the cocaine world would go to Peru and buy the coca sacks, like huge, like 50-pound bags of coca leaf, and bring it to Colombia to process it to make cocaine. But they just go up in the mountains of like very like low education people that just knew that they were doing coca stuff. So they kind of industrialize it, and then they will pay them in dollars because that's what these people have.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now, in that little town and in the mountains of Peru, no one will take a dollar. So for these people, all of this money, this currency, these bills, is worthless. So they had to travel to the city to exchange it for soles. And this is where my uncle will take advantage of them. They will say, okay, give me $100 and I give you two soles. So it was so backwards that my dad says literally because my dad started working for him. My uncle was being really successful. That people would bring like bags of dollars, like $50,000, and then walk away with like 50 soles.
No.
So the exchange rate was
God,
cruel for these ignorant people from
crazy.
but it was for them, it was better to have those 50 soles, go
not
back in the mountains, they're good for a month or two, instead of having this, 20 sacks of dollars that are
They can use
paper.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So that's the myth says that that's how he made his money, by taking advantage of ignorant people that
Yeah.
were like, full of dollars that no one, they didn't know what to do with it. So that's how his business started. It got a little more legit. It opened a couple of places. I mean, this is when I was a baby, and the myth, because I can't confirm nor deny anything. My dad in the 90s or in the 80s, he was making like 10K a month. That is a lot of money in Peru. It was a lot of money. Like my parents bought a house when they were like less than 30, like cash. They bought a house, not a mortgage, not nothing. It was a little house, but they owned the house.
Yeah.
Then we had a couple of cars, we had a couple of servants, we had a chauffeur for the car. I was going to a school where I think the monthly payment was like $500. It was expensive shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I had to drive like 45 minutes to an hour away to my school. It was a German school. Like my parents had money, and my dad was working for this uncle. So imagine how much money my uncle had. So I had a little house in the same block. Was my little house with, I think we had 2 rooms. Yeah, it was 2 rooms, living room, kitchen, small house, and then his house it was the corner house. It was like a mansion. And in the middle of those two is the house where my uncle grew up, which was like a 3-bedroom house. So he bought the mansion that he always saw. He bought it and then he fucking pimped it out.
Yeah, bad. Yeah.
Bad. It was like a 7 or 8 room thing. And then they started like he opened one exchange. It was like an office where they exchanged money, and then they started working with banks. Like he started making a lot of money. They opened another business, and when he made all this money in Peru, he was like, okay, next step is getting out of here. Because, I'm doing really well. Peru in the 90s, a lot of terrorism, a lot of like shady stuff. So he wanted to keep his money. Now he wanted to make it legal and sustainable.
That's good that he saw that. The exit.
Yeah, oh,
and
he's mine. He's the biggest person, but he's a really good businessman. So his next, and this is like his kids were going to the most expensive schools in Peru. Like I'm talking about, there's some schools in Peru where you need to pay $10,000 a year just to save a spot, and then that's like your matriculation fee, and then you pay monthly like $3,000,
Yeah.
and that still happens today in Peru. And this like there's one school called the Roosevelt and the Markham. It's like very expensive. Like all your classes are in English. You're in Peru, but you start learning English since grade one, and then you learn German. It's like very very advanced. Well, my cousins were going to all of that. They're like rich man. My oldest cousin becomes the national motocross champion. They were really into motor dirt bikes, and he became the champion in Peru. Like they also have guns, all the guns because they have a money business. So they're always. My dad was always armed. Yeah, always. And like I said, my dad worked for them. We have we bought 2 cars and all of this. And then my uncle was, I want to move out of Peru to save my investments. So I don't know why exactly, but they moved to Aruba, the little island. It's a Caribbean island.
Okay.
And he wanted to open Peruvian food in Aruba. So he went with 2 things. We have chifa, which is a fusion of Chinese food and Peruvian food. And then, but it's like a national thing from Peru. It's like Asian Peruvian food. It's chifa. And then we have pollo a la brasa, which is the rotisserie chicken, but Peruvian style that comes with fries and a salad. So those are 2 very big, popular things.
Is it good, the Chinese one?
Delicious.
What's the closest one here?
No, there's no Peruvian Asian
Do you
food
make
here.
Peruvian food?
I can make it. Yeah.
Dinner party.
Hey, we're gonna do an episode.
Yeah.
We just need to find a house. 'Cause my house is always upside down. So he moves to Aruba and he opens 2. His business mind, he has all the money. I'm going to invest in 2 things: Asian Peruvian and chicken Peruvian. He opens 2 restaurants in both sides. The island is so little. You can walk Aruba, by foot in less than a day. The whole island. So it's a little island. So he opened these 2 businesses. The China food, like the Aruba people didn't like it that much. Rotisserie chicken from Peru, like through the roof. Like everybody loved it. So my dad and him had they had a past that was kind of messy. Like my dad was a little bit of a party guy, and my uncle never liked that. He still like gave him jobs and shit like that. But by the time my uncle leaves, like they're not in a good relationship about the job, because my dad worked for him for like 12 years, and then my uncle was like, "All right, you're out. No gratification money." No. So it was like you were this like middle class, a little higher middle class, and then your job is gone.
Oh, God.
So my dad didn't know what the fuck to do. He had some
Poor guy.
savings, but
Not like that.
No,
That's
no,
like
no.
extreme.
and it was like, oh, man, this story gets crazy. But so when my oldest cousin was getting a little older, my uncle asked my dad to train him on everything my dad does.
Oh,
And my dad, being so naive, he didn't see this coming. It's like he's training him to get your job, and then you're out of the picture. He didn't like
1 plus 1 is
calculate
2.
it. Yeah, no. My dad is so like, for some things he's so naive and so like, because he thinks I wouldn't do this to somebody, so they shouldn't be doing it
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
That's his mentality, but the world is not like that. Then my uncle moves to Miami, and then he opens the rotisserie chicken again in Miami. A big fucking hit. The only thing that they do change in Peruvian food most of the time, the rotisserie chicken is French fries, salad, and sometimes rice. But it's not a big staple. It's French fries and salad. That's the plate. In Miami, they had to adapt and add black beans and white rice because of the Cubans.
Cubans.
The Cubans love that shit. And even like African Americans love that stuff too. So once they changed their menu a few times, they tried to open it one time. He didn't do that great. They tried to open it a second time. But he was like, this needs to work like this. His business, and he had the money to invest. I think the 3rd time they opened the restaurant, boom, skyrocket. They have more than 50 restaurants now.
Damn. In
So
Miami,
they sell it
in
as
Florida?
so they sell it as a franchise.
Damn.
And
What's
every
the name
time,
of it?
La Granja.
La Laja?
Granja.
Laja. What's that mean?
The farm. And my dad did the original design, the artwork for
And
them.
They still use it?
Oh yeah, and they like paid him
Your dad paid. Oh.
poquito,
Oh.
poquito.
It's like the one person who did who designed the Nike Swish. That person like didn't get nothing for it. That Nike Swish is like, huh? Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, that's crazy, man.
Okay, so next time.
No.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So we can finish this story some other time, I guess. It's a long story, but you guys tell us in the
2.
comments. The people who comment, who don't comment, how about you start commenting?
For real.
This was another episode of
Los.
Benchwarmers.
Until next time, mi gente.
Los vidrios.